a smile. We march to Zion with a smile.
Is happy because of Jesus' intervention, because of this man's repentance. This speaks volumes in our society today, in our community today. The moment we entertain sin, everybody becomes a victim. The sin and the victims of sin, all of them. We are lamenting over corruption. We are lamenting over theft in this nation, and this has been going on for so long, and you can see the effects of corruption, the pain and the suffering. Everybody, both the powerful and the powerless, are now feeling the pinch of evils, of these evils that have been going on in our society. What is the solution? The solution is very simple: repentance. Stop the corruption. Stop the theft. Think less about yourself and more about others and more about the national good. And peace, tranquility will be restored in society, including those who are perpetuators of this evil in society. Life is all about problem solving. Life is all about problem solving. Mr. Senyonjo Moses and his colleagues noticed a problem, a gap, a challenge. There were many parents yearning for high quality integral education at the secondary school level. And the question they asked themselves, what do we do to solve this human need? What do we do to solve this human need? They did what they did, and Inaria Senior Secondary School came into existence. Yes. We are here in the first place to thank God for His love, for His mercy, for His blessings upon humanity. It's God who enables us do and accomplish great and mighty things, like bringing into existence a school such as this one. And the theme today is basically on God's mercy. God's mercy upon us sinners. And has been merciful in Jesus Christ in a very special way since his coming. And through his suffering, death, and resurrection, he made this very clear. But above the thanksgiving and God's mercy, I would like to invite all of you to reflect on this theme. Life is all about problem solving. Life is all about problem solving. The moment you cease to solve a problem, the moment you stop solving a problem, you cease to exist. You begin to vegetate or even die. Jesus Christ comes to solve the problem of sin and death, which no human being had succeeded in finding a solution for. When Jesus did so, through his suffering, death, and resurrection, he became so outstanding up to today and until the end of the world, because he solved the problem that man had failed to solve since time immemorial. Zacchaeus in the gospel was a tax collector, a chief tax collector for that matter, and a very wealthy man. Unfortunately, in spite of his wealth, he was the most hated man in Jericho, and the most isolated, and therefore the most miserable. Those who think money is everything, here is an example of a very wealthy man, but most hated and most isolated by his own people, and therefore the most miserable. He had heard a lot about Jesus, who performs miracles, who even welcomes sinners, interacts with them, and dines with them, which was contrary to the norm of the time. When he learned he was passing by that place, he saw it as an opportunity to try and have just a glimpse of him. Unfortunately for him, he had a natural impediment, and that was the shortness of his height. And worse still, there was another obstacle: the crowds that hated him, and the crowds that actually obstructed him physically from seeing Jesus. My dear students, and the parents, and everyone here, because we are all entangled in different problems. This man did not sit back and lament and pity himself and sympathize with himself. No. He took initiative in spite of all these obstacles. He devised the means and ways of boosting his height to get over the crowds, an obstacle, and have a good view of the center of his interest, Jesus Christ. He knew what he wanted. He took advantage of a tree he did not plant. He put aside his status and pride, climbed the tree, and finally was able to see Jesus. He did what was in his power and ability to do. And Jesus intervened and offered to do him what he was incapable of doing for himself. But Jesus was building on what Zacchaeus had already done by himself using the already God-given abilities and understanding. Zacchaeus thus got even much more than he had anticipated. By doing what he was capable of doing to the best of his ability, he was able to get what he was incapable of doing because of the intervention of the Divine One, Jesus Christ. What does Jesus Christ offer him? Jesus actually offered him himself. Jesus called him to himself. I must come to your house today. You're not going to stop at seeing me, but you are going to be my host, and I'm going to be your visitor. Something he never expected. I must stay at your house. And what happened as a consequence of Zacchaeus doing what he was capable of doing and Jesus intervening to do what he was incapable of doing, what happened to Zacchaeus? Zacchaeus in return said this, I am going to offer half of my wealth, my property, to the poor. And for whoever I defrauded, I am going to pay back 4 times as much as I defrauded him. Now, he gave half to the poor. The other half was not kept for himself. No, it was kept for those he had cheated. And at the end of the day, he was willing to remain with nothing. And from what he had remained with, he was willing to offer 4 times as much as what he had stolen, cheated from the others, from his victims. And by so doing, he repented genuinely from the bottom of his heart and was transformed inside out. Now, Jesus solves the problem. Jesus solves the problem in society. What a problem. Zacchaeus, who was a thief, because of Jesus' mercy and self-offering to him, Zacchaeus became very concerned with the poor, was concerned with the poor, and extended the same mercy, the same love he had received from Jesus to the poor. And the poor are so happy. They had nothing. Now they have plenty because this man shared from the plenty he had and shared with the less privileged in society around him. The poor were happy. The second category of happy people are the victims of his theft. Those he had defrauded from were extremely happy because they were going to receive even much more than they had lost to him. 4 times as much. They were extremely happy. What about Zacchaeus? Zacchaeus was extremely happy because after he was forgiven,